Hi teachers, this is just a short video to show you some of the independent work activities that HMH has to offer. These are activities that are great in the classroom, in lit centers, or in a reading workshop, or any independent work. It also works online because most of these can be assigned online, and it will be used to gauge where your students are with these skills and also allow them to show their skills with these activities. So the easiest way to get to these things is to go to magnifying glass and search the story that you're reading. So I'm just going to put in Flora and Ulysses because it's the first story in the book, and all kinds of results come up. So the ones that I would like to look at with you, this first one is Teacher's Guide for Literacy Centers. And so when you go to open it, it's going to take you to the Teacher's Edition page, and you will see several different options. Here's an option for the Reading Center, for a Vocabulary Center, a Digital Station, a Writing Center, and a Project Center. So even if you don't call them those things, even if you use different types of stations or different types of rotations, you can still come here to find ideas. So in this one, it has a reader's theater that it offers, so something that students can do in groups. You also have how to choose a book. You've got some vocabulary words here, listening to the book. So that's one thing I want to show you. If you don't already know, obviously you can assign the book, the story, the text, whatever it is, to read. But there's also this play audio. This is good for listening comprehension. It's also good for students who need support with reading. And so that's always an option to do in a center or in a rotation as well. There's also a project center that can be worked on with a group or independently. And then here is another option for a project. And so you see lots of different ideas in this literacy center section where you can take those and make them into independent work or small group work or even partners so that students can work with the story that you're working with, or the vocabulary words, or the writing that you're working on in that time. Also, in that same search, so again, remember all I did was search for Flora and Ulysses because that's the story that I'm reading right now. Here was the literacy centers. Another one that I want to look at, if I keep going down, is this options for independent and collaborative work. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And this is a great one because it tells you some of the things that you can do to help your students individually. So students can work on this to show you what they know. So here it provides you with a reading graphic organizer to reinforce the skill that you're working on here, central idea. There's also a language graphic organizer. So there's two different ways to work on applying those skills. The other thing that you see is this anchor chart. We've talked about anchor charts in other videos, but these anchor charts are always a great idea to assign to students so that they're always able to go reference those whenever they are working on any of the skills, just to have those in their repertoire. Okay, so our second option here was options for independent and collaborative work. And the third one that I want to show you is this collaborative discussion. This is really great if you are assigning any kind of reading on their own, or if you are wanting to just have a discussion without doing that out loud. So you go here, there's a Teaching Pal option, and there's also a My Book option. If you're doing it for students, you can assign it just like you normally would to either specific students or to the entire class. When you open it, obviously you're getting to see what's happening here, but it has the story. First, it's going to ask you or ask the student to read certain pages, and then they can type a discussion, and they can have a discussion with you through text instead of it being verbal. So this is a good way, maybe when a small group is working in a station together, or when students are reading independently, or even if you're working online, this is a good way for students to be able to have those questions asked while they're reading that you would normally ask in a classroom setting. And you see that they continue to ask questions as they're reading. These obviously wouldn't be graded. These are more just formative to make sure that students are understanding and thinking and processing as they're reading. So these are three different options that you have for independent work, and I hope that these are things that you feel like you can use in your classroom.